Great. All right. Welcome. We're going to do some seated yoga and some breath work today. So find yourself a comfortable seat wherever you are. This could be on the mat, on the chair, on a bed. It doesn't really matter. You can sit cross-legged. You can sit with your legs out, or you can sit with your feet on the floor. What we're really looking for is being aware of where your body is in space. And coming into the body, we spend a lot of time in the head, and this is our chance to kind of merge the two. So this body-mind connection and thinking about how can I make myself a little more comfortable? Sometimes we tolerate discomfort for no good reason. So that might mean moving around a little bit, or if your shoulders have creeped up towards your ears, just relaxing those down your back. And if there's anywhere in your body that's holding tightness or tension, just shake it out a little bit, adjust a little bit. And then we'll come into some stillness once you're in a position that you feel like, okay, this feels pretty good. I'm in my body. I'm ready to be here for a little while. And then close your eyes if that feels all right for you today. You can also always just lower your gaze, find a little point of focus on the floor. Feel yourself, feel the sits bones on whatever's beneath you. Feel your breath. Where is it today? Can you feel it in your chest? You might want to put a hand over your chest and let the hand rise on the inhale and sink on the exhale. We don't have to change the breath. Sometimes it naturally lengthens when we focus on it. But breathe into that heart space. Visualize your heart pumping your blood full of oxygen through the body. And choose an emotion that you associate with the heart space, some positive emotion, happiness or joy or contentment. And see if you can cultivate, what does that emotion feel like in your body? Or bring to mind a memory that you associate with that emotion, a time when you felt this positive emotion. And we'll use this emotion as our intention for class today. So if you chose joy, we're going to cultivate joy throughout today's class. If you chose happiness or contentment, whatever it is, we're going to try to embody that throughout each of the poses we do today. Bring the breath into the belly. So you might move the hands if you like, feeling the belly rise on the inhale and sink on the exhale, inviting the breath to be full, filling the lungs, using the diaphragm to help fill the lungs, letting the belly sink on the exhale. And then we'll do a breathwork exercise called Brahmari breath or bumblebee breath. And so you inhale normally and exhale in a hum through the mouth. Inhaling whenever you need to, and exhaling with this hum. Humming and oming and singing are really good for our vagus nerve, which is a really long nerve that runs all the way from the brain into the belly. It is our gut-brain axis, and it's responsible for putting us into this autonomic nervous system state where we're in rest and digest mode, where we feel calm and collected, where we can feel safe. We don't perceive any external threats. And this is where our body can then start repairing itself, where we aren't on edge and we can say, okay, we can put our energy towards repairing damaged cells, which is really great. We're in charge of this as with a lot of stressors in the modern world, but we can sit, we can hum, we can sing, we can meditate, we can relax. So inhaling through the nose and exhaling with the hum. And then letting the breath return to normal. And if your eyes are closed, you can slowly blink open the eyes. And we'll start with a little head circles, just gently bringing some movement into the neck. These can be as slow or as fast as you like. Ask your body what it wants today. And we're going to add in the breath, exhaling as the chin comes towards the chest, and inhaling as you look up towards the ceiling. We say that we want to link the movements to the breath. If we stop breathing, or if the breathing becomes belabored, or if you start holding the breath, then we've really lost the yoga. We can go the other direction now, so switching it up. So be gentle with yourself. 70-80% is more than enough. Sometimes even less, half speed, or putting in a third of your possible effort can be really effective in finding this stillness, this calmness, and making sure that the breath and the movements are connected. And then when your chin next gets to the chest, leave it there, stretching out the neck, arching the back, rounding it like a Halloween cat into cat pose. And then moving into cow pose, bringing the clavicles forward and the shoulders back, looking up, putting a little back bend in the spine. And we can match this movement to the breath as well. Exhaling into cat pose. And inhaling into cow pose. You might look like me, or you might be faster or slower than me, bigger or smaller than me, and that's fine. I'm just offering suggestions. Try them in your body, see what works, see how it works. And again, you can do this seated on the mat, you can do this on all fours, or you can do it in a chair. And they're all great because moving the spine helps keep all of those joints between each of your, the bones in the spine. The more we move, the easier it is to move. So we'll do one more round of cat-cow. Take your time. There's absolutely no rush. And then we'll come back to a nice tall seat, this Tadasana pose, pressing the feet into the ground, pressing the sits bones into the chair. You can open the arms if you like and stretch the fingertips towards the ground as you stretch the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. And bring the arms up overhead on the inhale, and let them come back down by the sides on the exhale. And we'll do 2 more of these. You can bring the arms up as much or as little as you like. Inhaling, maybe you look up, and exhaling, bringing the arms back down. I'm going to do 1 more like that. Inhaling, bringing the arms up overhead, and exhaling, hands down by your sides. Lovely. We can shake it out. Again, there's actually quite a bit of research that shaking helps reduce stress and reduce muscle stiffness and tightness. And there's all kinds of interesting benefits from it. And then we'll just get into the wrists. So I'm going to point and flex, bringing the fingertips up towards the ceiling and then down towards the ground. Again, you can match this with the breath as well. Inhaling to bring the fingertips up and exhaling to bring them down. And this can be any amount. If you're looking for a more intense stretch, you can stretch out the arms so that the elbows are straight, and that will make it more difficult and more intense. And if you're looking for something that's a bit gentler, you can always bring the elbows in. It's really up to you. And you can always change midway too. There's no reason to have to carry on with a pose in a certain way if it's no longer serving you. I'm going to shake out the hands and do some wrist rolls in one direction and the other direction. And if you hear pops and clicks, that's okay, as long as there's no pain. Pain does not belong anywhere in yoga. So if something hurts, which is beyond stretching, something that is sharp pain, stop what you're doing, reassess, see what, if you know what's causing the pain, see if you can do the pose in a different way or just sit it out. And then we'll tuck the thumbs in, grab on like making some tighter fists. This changes the stretch a little bit in the wrist. So try it. If you like it, carry on. And if this one doesn't work for you, you can go back to open palms and go the other direction as well. And then we'll shake out the hands and get into some elbows. So I'm going to do something a little bit similar, inhaling and exhaling. I'm bringing my hands to my shoulders and inhaling, open, and exhaling back. And again, these can be as big or as small, as fast or as slow as you like. And if the hands or arms get tired, take a rest, take a break. As long as you're breathing, you're doing the yoga. As long as you're listening to your body, staying in your body, you're doing it. You don't have to be doing the poses in order to be getting the benefits. It's much better to listen to your body, to know where your own limits are, and to respect those limits, even if the ego wants to get involved and say, oh, I want to push through, I want to be the best, I want to carry on. I promise you there's no gold medal for carrying through when you're too tired or in pain. So really, most important thing to do is listen to the body. All right, we'll do 1 more like this. And then moving on from our elbows, we'll get into the shoulders. So doing some shoulder rolls in one direction and the other direction. I'm doing 1 by 1, but you can also do them together. It's kind of, again, up to you. You could make these bigger. You could involve the elbows. You could put the hands back on the shoulders if that feels good. Or you can make really huge circles with the arms. Just ask yourself, what does my body need today? What feels good in my body today? And just being mindful of, if you are doing really big circles, to engage the core a little bit so that you feel really stable, that you feel really steady, that you feel like you aren't going anywhere, aren't going to tip over. And then we can go the other direction too. So again, if you want to get the elbows involved or the whole arms involved, just opening up. The shoulders are a really big joint in our body, and they tend to stiffen and tighten as we age, especially if we're not lifting and carrying. A lot of times we don't spend a lot of time with our hands over our head, and so that motion can, it's a use it or lose it situation. The more we move our joints, the easier it is to do all of these movements. And then we can shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. And we'll come into the hips a little bit, starting just with some circles of the torso. And you can hang on to the chair or put your hands on the ground if you're seated, if this feels in any way unsteady. So start small, start slow. And we can do the same thing, matching the breath to the movement, inhaling as we come forward and exhaling as we lean back. This is great for our sense of balance and also starting to engage the core muscles. Our core is everything, our abs, of course, but it is also our obliques and the low back muscles. And all of these together help keep us upright. They help with walking. They help keep our posture in good alignment. And when our posture is good, our bones do more of the work and our muscles can relax a little bit, especially in our upper back and shoulders. And we can switch the other direction, inhaling as we go forward and exhaling as we go back, switching the weight from one side to the other side and dipping the pelvis a little bit forward and backward, just really feeling into the body, into the breath. And then coming back to that Tadasana, that nice tall seat. And we'll get a little more into the hips. So choose one leg, and you might do some hip circles on the floor with the foot on the floor. You can do hip circles standing. You can hang on to something and move the hip around that way. If the foot doesn't want to come up off the floor, you can always interlock the hands underneath to get a bigger range of movement if that feels good. Or you can interlock the hands and put them in front of the shin if that feels better. There's all kinds of different ways to get some movement into the hip, opening that hip joint in one direction, and then if you haven't yet switching to the other direction. And this is another place you might hear your joints might be talking to you. Just take it slow and steady. Don't do anything that doesn't feel safe or that doesn't feel good in your body. And then we can kind of march it out or windshield wiper the knee or do whatever you need to do to kind of counter that. And then we'll do the same thing on the left. Again, you can start with the foot on the ground, just bringing a little bit of movement into the hip. You can do this standing. You could interlace the fingers underneath behind the hamstrings and bring some movement into the hips that way. You could interlace in front of the shin. It is entirely up to you, and it might look different on this side than the other side, depending on your flexibility and range of motion and how you feel. So we're not as symmetric as we sometimes like to think. And then we can switch the other direction. So whichever way you were going, get some movement anti-clockwise or whichever way. And then gently setting that foot down, maybe marching it out, or again, butterfly, opening, closing the knees, maybe pressing into one hip and then the other hip, seeing how you feel, readjusting. If there's any areas that are still tight or tense, seeing if you can just relax them. And then we'll get into our knees and ankles. There's a little bit with the knees, but we'll start by just extending one leg out. You might stay here. This might already feel, you might feel it in the back of the leg, down the back of the calf. You can also sit up nice and tall, and we're going to hinge forward with a flat back. This can intensify the stretch on the leg. And we do it with a tall spine to help protect the lower back and help prevent any strained muscles or a tweaked back, because it's never a good feeling. If you have a yoga strap or a tea towel or a t-shirt or a sweater or something, and you want to intensify the stretch even more, you can put the strap underneath the foot and pull evenly on both sides. If that feels like a lot for your grip, you can always turn it into a loop and use the wrists. That can be a good alternative. And if your foot is twisting a lot, like the ankle is twisting and the foot doesn't want to stay flat, you can use a yoga block or a book with the strap underneath it, and that can help provide some support and stability. Not like that. That can help provide some support and stability so that you keep that foot kind of the pinky toe side and the big toe side even, instead of one side coming closer to your face and one side going away from you. And if you've lost the breath, which is easy to do, come back to it. Nice, slow inhales and exhales. You might find at some point, this has become easier. This has become less intense. If you want to intensify it, again, thinking about getting the spine nice and straight, head towards the ceiling, and then hinging forward any amount. You might feel this more strongly either in the hamstrings or in the Achilles, in the back of the back of the calf, depending on where you're tight and where your muscles are tight. And so as long as you're feeling it in your leg, you're probably doing it exactly right. We'll do 3 more big breaths here. And then we'll slowly undo. If you have any props, you can move those around, and bringing the leg back in. You might bend and extend the knee if that feels good again, or marching or windshield wipering from the ankle if that feels good, or maybe pointing and flexing the toes. Even if there's not a lot of movement, sending the signals from the brain to the foot, these are obviously the longest nerve pathways in the body, all the way from the brain to the toes. So even if the toes are just moving a little bit or they're not moving at all, practicing sending those messages helps build neuroplasticity. And that's the ability of our brain to rewire and to send messages in a different way or along a different path in order to achieve the results we want. So it's always a good idea, even if you feel like, I'm not really seeing a lot of results. This can take a really long time, but it is worthwhile, and it is definitely something we can do to increase our range of motion and increase our reaction time and reaction speed. So we've done some leg stretching on the right side. Let's move over to the left. So again, first you can just extend the leg, and this might already feel like enough. This might be like, yep, I can definitely feel it. You can also sit up nice and tall and hinge forward on towards your left toes. If you used a prop on the other side and you want to get your prop out, the strap or the block, if you want to sit on the floor, that sometimes people like having their legs straight out, or if you want to use another chair, or, in my case, I have the guest bed over here, or you can, whatever feels good to you. You don't have to look like me or do exactly what I'm doing. The goal here, we're stretching the back of the left leg. So I am going to use my strap around the ball of the foot. I'm getting nice and tall in the spine, and then hinging forward just a little bit until I can feel the intensity of that stretch on the left side. And again, if you lose the breath, just come back to it, right? We get distracted all the time. Nice, slow, even. If you're in a position where you feel like the breath, again, is belabored or it's being held, just ease out of the pose a little bit until you can catch the breath, and let the breath be the guide of how deep or how intense you get into your asana. I'm going to do 3 more breaths on this side. Nice and deep and slow. And then if you're hinged forward, slowly, slowly, slowly come out of it. If you're using a prop, you can set that aside for now. And then maybe you open and close the knee, or maybe you move the ankle so that the foot is twisting in the different directions. Maybe you point and flex the toes. For me, my range of motion on my left side is much more subtle than it is on the right, but that's okay. I can still concentrate on what I'm doing, even if the range of motion is a little bit less. It is still building those neural pathways, and it is still well worth doing. All right, then we'll come back into our Tadasana, our nice tall seat. Again, assessing head to toe. How do I feel? Is there any part of my body I could release or relax, or, where am I holding tension? Where can I let the tension go? And we'll do some twisting. So we can start just with the eyes, looking to the right, and looking to the left, and looking to the right, and moving the head to the right. Let the head follow the gaze. Let the gaze be your guide. And when you get to a place where you're like, that's it, that's what I've got in my head and neck, great. Stop there and see if you can use the left hand on the outside of the right thigh to give you a little bit of leverage, and maybe you have a little bit more room. And again, you can do this seated, you can do it cross-legged, or you can do it in the chair. If this feels unsteady in any way, you can always grab on to the floor, to the chair, to the back of the chair. And then we'll sit up nice and tall. So inhaling to lengthen the spine, and exhaling to twist. Even if you don't actually twist anymore, we're going to think about it on the inhale, thinking about getting tall in the spine, and on the exhale, thinking about twisting. Inhale to lengthen, and exhale to twist. Making sure you're breathing. Inhale to sit up nice and tall, and exhale to twist over the right shoulder. And we'll really slowly come out of this opposite way we came in. So bringing the left hand away from the thigh if it's there. Then using the eyes and following the gaze. Nice and slow and steady, coming back through center and then looking all the way to the left, using the gaze first, then let the head follow the gaze, twisting the body, let the left shoulder drop back and the right shoulder come forward. And maybe you stay here and this feels like enough, or use the right hand on the outside of the left thigh and see if there's any more room to twist. You can use the left hand on the floor or on the chair, sitting up nice and tall and twisting over the left shoulder. Inhale to lengthen the spine and exhale to twist. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to twist. Keeping that breath front and center. Inhaling and exhaling. Where the gaze goes, usually the body follows. Twist and twist and twist. And to come out, we'll use the eyes, use the gaze. Let the head follow the gaze more slowly than maybe you're capable of or than you'd like to. Coming back to our Tadasana, our nice tall mountain pose. Sinking the hips down, letting the spine be long. And then we'll do a figure 4 stretch, and we'll do a twist with this one as well. So you can do this on the floor. You can do it reclined on your back if you like, or you can do it seated in a chair. So I'm starting with my left ankle crossed over my right knee. This might already feel like a lot. We're looking for stretch in the left hip. But if you have pretty open hips and you're like, I don't feel this at all, same thing as when we were stretching the legs, sitting up nice and tall, and then hinging forward any amount, again, to protect the lower back. You'll probably feel the outside of the left leg and hip light up, and we'll breathe into that space, breathing into the hip, breathing into any tension. And miraculously often when we stay in a position, when we breathe into it, a lot of times it relaxes. And if that's happening for you, you can sit up nice and tall again and hinge forward a little bit more. And if it's not, you just stay where you are and you just breathe into it wherever you are. And that's, it can take any amount of time to improve flexibility. And that can be anywhere from a few breaths to a few lifetimes. So be gentle with yourself, be kind to yourself. All right, from here, we're going to do another twist. First, we're going to twist over to the left, any amount. I'm bringing my right hand to the outside of the left thigh. We like to avoid putting any pressure on the knee, so put the hand on the fleshy bit. If you like, you can open your left arm or use the left hand to have some stability and balance on the chair, or you can tuck the left arm behind the back, reaching for the right inner thigh. Don't forget to breathe here. And then we'll come back through center. Maybe some more release has happened and we can elongate the spine and hinge forward any amount. And then we'll twist over to the right. So you can put the left hand on the bottom of the left foot if you like. You could try a prayer twist, bringing the hands to heart center to give yourself a little bit of balance challenge, where you could do the same, opening up the arm or tucking the right arm behind the back. So many choices. Don't let your ego decide. Do what feels good in your body and do what you can do while you're still focusing on the breath in and out. And we'll slowly untwist, coming back through center, giving the ankle a little bit of TLC, pointing and flexing the toes. Maybe giving a little foot massage on the bottom of the left foot. That can get really, the fascia can get really tight, especially if you're someone like me and you wear shoes a lot for stability. The bottoms of our feet don't always get the freedom to move in the way they would naturally if we're barefoot. Lovely. And then we'll uncross, reassess, and we'll do the same sequence on the right. So you can cross at the ankle or you can cross at the knee. It's up to you. We're looking to open the hips here. So for some people, the knee might be really high because the hips are tight. That's fine. For others, you might be much more open than me. That's also fine. We're looking to protect the lower back. So engaging the core, sitting up nice and tall, and then hinging forward any amount. And it might just be an inch, and then the hip's like, whoa, that's a lot. And then you just stay here and you breathe into the hip until it releases. And again, that might be a few breaths and it might be a few lifetimes. We're all built differently. So, and you might be really different on one side to the other. So you might find that the left or the right is more tight or more loose, and that's okay too. And then if you are finding that you found a little bit of extra space, again, lifting the spine and then hinging forward any amount. Finding your own edge, finding what feels good in your body, finding the space where you feel the stretch, but you can also breathe. And then we'll twist to the right first this time. Bringing the left hand to the outside of the right thigh. Left arm can be outstretched or on the chair or tucked behind. And it might be the same or it might be different than what you did on the other side. So don't judge yourself. Just come with an open mind, acknowledging without judging. And then we'll come back through center and twist to the other side. You can put the right hand on the bottom of the left foot, push the foot into the hand, push the hand into the foot. Or maybe you hang on to the ankle. And you can open up the left arm or tuck it behind or hang on to the chair. Find what works in your body. And then come back through to center and give this ankle a little bit of TLC, helping to roll it in one direction and the other direction. Maybe pointing and flexing the toes. Maybe giving yourself a little foot massage, whatever feels good. And if your hands don't feel great to massage, you can always make fists and kind of push the foot into the knuckles. That can work really well too, without being too tough on the hands. So there's always alternatives. So find what works. Lovely. And then we've got a couple minutes to explore in your body. What did you like? What does your body want to do more of? Maybe there's something you want to repeat or something we didn't get an opportunity to do that you want to explore and experiment with. So take this time to give yourself a body scan and say, okay, what feels good? What do I want more of? Maybe you want to get more into the wrists or the hands. Maybe that's a place that feels tight to you. Or maybe you want to do more with some neck stretches because your neck feels a little bit tight today. That could be a good thing to do. Maybe you want to do some forward folds. We didn't get a chance to spend a lot of time in any inversions, which is where the head is lower than the hips. So maybe that would feel good to you. Or maybe you're ready to meditate and you're ready to stop moving, and that's fine too. Find ask your body what it wants, and then actually listen. I think a lot of times we are conditioned to just plow through and keep going and keep moving and being super productive and super active and not listening to cues that might say, you know what, it's time to rest, it's time to relax, it's time to restore. When you do feel like it is, you're good, you're ready for our final relaxation, you are more than welcome to lie down, to get really cozy. You might want to put on another layer. Maybe you put a pillow or something behind your lower back to feel a little extra comfortable. And then once you've gotten cozy, once you've feathered your nest, I'll invite you to close your eyes again if you like. And if that's not going to work for you today, no problem. Just lower your gaze, kind of make your eyes go fuzzy, focus on one point so that we can focus on what's happening inside our body. Come back to the breath. The breath is with us all the time. Sometimes it's automatic and we're not thinking about it at all. But we always have it with us and we can control it. So let's breathe back into the heart space. Nice and slow. In and out through the nose where you can. Inhaling, acknowledge you're inhaling. And exhaling, acknowledge you're exhaling. Maybe you can feel the heart pumping, or maybe you can visualize in your head what that's like, and then bringing back to mind that emotion that you cultivated, that heart space emotion, that positive emotion. How does it feel in your body? What was the experience or memory that you associated with that positive feeling? Can you relive it now? Can you put that emotion into your heart, into your body? We'll slow the breath even further, inhaling fully, and then very slowly exhaling. Squeezing every bit of air out, using the abdominal muscles, and then inhaling slowly. And exhaling fully. Squeezing the abdominal muscles, getting every drop of air out. And when you're ready, inhaling again. And carry on like this for a few breaths. And then we'll end our practice today with a metta meditation, a loving kindness meditation. And we'll start with loving kindness for ourselves. So we've already cultivated this positive emotion, this whether it's joy or contentment or happiness or whatever you've chosen. And we're going to turn that to ourself. May we always be able to access these positive emotions. May we be happy. May we find peace. May we fulfill our purpose in life. And that can be something as small and tiny. I think sometimes we think, oh, purpose has to be really big. But it can be as simple as cultivating these positive emotions and sharing them with our immediate family and friends, with the people that we're closest to. That is a really strong, good, fulfilling purpose. So we've had these emotions, we have them for ourselves. And I'm going to invite you to bring to mind someone you'd like to share these positive emotions with, someone who's important to you, and bestow these positive emotions on them, seeing them smile, seeing them feeling content, joyful, feeling happy. And wish them well. May you be happy. May you find peace. May you find your purpose in this life. And next, I'd invite you to think of someone who's neutral in your life. Maybe the person who delivers your post, or a store clerk, someone that you maybe see but you don't know very well. And bestow these positive emotions on them. See them happy, visualize them being content, being joyful, smiling. And wish them well. May you be happy. May you find peace. May you fulfill your purpose in this life. And then think of someone that you might have some difficulties with, or you don't always see eye to eye with. It could be someone that you are currently having some struggles with, or it could be someone from your past that you have lost connection with, but that you didn't always get along. And wish them well. See them happy. Imagine them feeling joy, seeing them smile. May you be happy. May you find peace. May you fulfill your purpose in this life. And finally, gather up all of the people in your life, everyone you've ever known, everyone who's living or passed on, or you've had any tangential connection with. See them smiling, full of joy. Wish them well, all of them well. May you all be happy. May you all find peace. May you all fulfill the purpose of your life. And then let that visualization go. Let them fade away. Bring a little bit of movement into your hands, your feet, your extremities, into your legs and your arms. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes.